first time filling up the Miata, and let me just show you guys here. This is what we're working with on a 30-year-old car. So, yeah, first time filling her up. You guys know what that means. Go. See, and it's not. I think it died. Oh, that would have been good if it did. Yeah. Alright, so we were having some issues with the car dying out on us a little bit, and we heard a little clicking sound, and we couldn't really figure out what it was until we saw something laying in here. Alex, why don't you show us what we're missing here? Yeah, so our belt that goes to the alternator just completely snapped off. It's an old car, it was bound to happen eventually probably, so now we gotta fix it. But now I have to figure out if I can drive home. I gotta figure out if I can drive home on just the battery. And if the battery dies, then I'm fucked and I gotta get tow home. So this will be interesting. I'll get you guys updated on what happens. But you think we'll make it home? Huh? You think we'll make it home? Staying optimistic, I like it. Alright, we'll update you on what happens. Alright, so I'm gonna give you guys an update, even though I don't like it and you're not gonna like it. So the Miata belt on the car that goes from the crankshaft to the, I believe it goes from the crankshaft to the alternator, that snapped off, which is explains why we were losing power. So like halfway through us getting through a turn or something, sometimes it just cut power. So we believe that's why it was cutting power on us. And then on top of that, is also now overheating as well, but it's not leaking anywhere. So we may possibly have a blown ahead gasket on it. We're gonna do some investigating in the next few weeks and we'll find out. But that's the update. We're sitting here waiting on a tow truck, and the tow truck will be here in roughly 30 to 45 minutes. All right, so a couple steps. we're going through real quick while we're waiting on it on the tow truck to check is, first off, to check a blown head gasket, we're going to look at the oil. The oil will be milky from your coolant getting in there if it is a blown head gasket. So if we pull it out and look at it, I don't know if you can see it or not in there. Tap on it, should be able to focus in on it. There we go. So it looks pretty clear. I don't see any milkiness at all. So I don't think we blew a head gasket, and this is just our quick deductive reasoning while we're sitting in the parking lot. Alex, go over what you thought could possibly be wrong with the thermostat.
So my thought was that the belt for the alternator snapped, and we noticed that at the same time that we noticed the overheating. So what I'm thinking is that whenever the belt for the alternator snapped, the alternator powers things in this area. So one thing could be that the alternator maybe was, when it gave out, so did the thermostat, or the temperature reading sensor for the thermostat. So if that just shut down, then the engine's going to overheat, and pressure's also going to build inside of the radiator, which would make it come out of the overflow tube like it did.
Yeah, so whenever it did come out, we have a little bit of fluid that came out. You can see on the ground right here. Also inside is a little wet. So it came out of the overflow tube, and it was very obvious that it came out of there.
So it could just be that the thermostat isn't opening up, and that's why the engine got a little hot, but I don't think the head gasket's blown.
So with no blown head gasket, if it's not blown, and as long as, I mean, it appears that the radiator and everything's fine, man. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Yeah, no, so I think just throw the belt on it, go drive it, and see how it acts.
Yeah, and if it doesn't, if it still acts up a little bit, next step is we can work on the thermostat. Maybe see if something's wrong with that.
Yeah, I mean, we might have messed it up or something.
Yeah,
like
I mean, this is probably one of the first time in its life it's been pushed as hard as it was. I mean, we were redlining the shit out of this thing.
I mean, it runs well, so I feel like if everything else was operating properly, then that wouldn't have just happened out of nowhere.
And the fact that the car just kept dying out on us, like we would try to do like a little like some donuts and stuff, and as soon as you hit the back tail around about 180, if you drop the RPMs down at all, like if you weren't holding the RPMs up, the car just died. It just cut itself off. Like it didn't die automatically, but it cut power to the car, and then it came to like idle, and then it just dropped down and just died after that.
And that's because the belt was slipping on the alternator.
Yep. So that is our verdict so far. So if that's correct, all we gotta do is replace the belt, and the car's good to go. If not, we have a lot more work to do. But random brainstorming while we're in the parking lot waiting on the tow truck. Yeah. It's brightened my spirits a little bit for the time being.
I mean, I feel good that there's no coolant in the oil and it's not smoking.
Yeah, we had no smoke coming out of the tailpipe, no smoke coming out of the engine bay when we opened it.
And the only place that any coolant was coming out was over here.
Yep.
There was nothing like near the block or anything.
So that's it. You guys will see the next videos. We'll go over kind of what we're going through. We'll keep you guys informed as always. And if you guys have run into this before, please comment down below. Let me know. Obviously, that'll help me and Alex out. We take all the positive and negative criticism that we can. Mostly positive, though, if you guys can. That'd be awesome. All right. That's it for today, guys. We're getting this towed right now. Get back to the house. Next video, we'll start taking her apart and see what's going on. It's the next day, but I wanted to give everyone a quick update on what we found out. So, between researching online and getting roasted in forums for asking the question, I finally found out that the belt configuration goes from the crankshaft, powers the alternator, and also powers the water pump. So that is why the car was overheating, was because the water pump obviously was not working, so there was no coolant flowing through the engine. which makes sense. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, that we actually know what the reason is for the car overheating now. And second of all, I made this short little video after to show you guys that I do not know everything about cars. Actually, it's far from the truth. I know very little about cars. Would I like to know a lot more? Absolutely. And that's why we bought the Miata in the first place. I bought the Miata to learn more about cars, to get my hands dirty, and if something breaks, I'm gonna fix it. I'm not gonna pay someone to fix it. And I still have my WRX as a daily driver. So, that being said, keep roasting me, I'll keep taking it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.